would like to go around and between you three, what are you shooting today? Caliber, gun, outside the waistband, and what is your shooting experience? Professional or not?
All right, I'm shooting outside of NCC 9mm, and I've been shooting for long. Not proficient.
Okay.
If you count ex-military, but
Yeah.
different type of habits.
Yeah, definitely. That's formal shooting. For sure.
Right.
I'll be shooting a Glock 48 9mm. You helped me sight in my red dot. And I'm ex-military. So, and I come up here maybe twice a week, once a week at least.
Little thing, really quickly. I've been shooting since I was 11. I spent 6 years in the Marine Corps in an artillery detachment, so not a whole lot of experience with pistols in the military aspect, if you will, but qualified on the 240 Bravo, Mark 19, all the good stuff. Next to rifle for 6 years. And I've been shooting for about 15 years. Most of my pistol experience comes from another range that I used to work at, he's very familiar with, is Crossfire Defense Academy, which of the people that work there, 99% of them were in the military, and of the military guys, 98% of them were in special operations in some sort of capacity. Besides the onesies and twosies here and there, the only one who wasn't in that capacity was this guy. All right, so I was the butt end of a lot of jokes. Okay, but they took me under the wing and taught me a lot, vast amount of knowledge. Special operations range pistol qualified for intermediate level, which is the reactionary shooting. It's ridiculously hard, but got 100 out of 20 there. I'm USCCA certified instructor for defensive shooting from the house. CCHDF, Combat Master, Tactical Man First Aid, as well as TGE, and USPSA B class, unranked yet, technically. So I haven't gotten my 6, but I've been running fairly with B's. I've trained 1,000 new gun owners, 500 of which, I am not kidding you, was in 2020 all by itself. That was a busy year. Day in, day out, 10-hour days, 10 lessons a day, it was ridiculous. But I've also trained with the DEA, the SRT team, a few times. Law enforcement, anywhere from patrol to SWAT. I am currently training the SpaceX security team, with another group. Private military contractors.
Are they here in Texas?
The one, they're down south. A few hours down south. As well as private military contractors and military police. My 3 main instructors, you might recognize these backgrounds. Garland SWAT operator, MARSOC Raider Scout Sniper, and a SEAL Team 4 operator. Kevin, JT, and Dan. Those are my backgrounds in terms of pistols, right? And since then, I've kind of gone off the deep end of a whole bunch of other things. A really good quote that I continually run through my head no matter what class I'm doing, no matter what I'm doing with pistols or rifles, is we don't rise to the level of our expectations, we always fall to the level of our training. So that's a little bit on me. Now, once again, I don't like death by PowerPoint, so this is going to be lickety split. We have shotguns before, so I really hope to skip right past a lot of these. This is just a renewal with what I'm trying to teach. By all means, don't do it. Okay? I am here to push you and try to bend a little bit of the rules. But if you're like, I don't want to do this at all, that is totally up to you. It's your prerogative. Specifically, in relation to the finger straight off, I'm sure you're too tend to fire. If you don't firmly grasp the exact way that I am trying to tell you this, I will tell you to stop just from a safety aspect. Okay? Safety is always paramount. Please use your best judgment. So, part 1. Don't be that guy. All right? Let's see if this will play by itself. My goal as an instructor is to make sure that you guys are not going to do this. Tell me what's wrong with this video.
What's not wrong with it?
No. So, just so everyone's aware, our IFAC is not very smartly different, but it's black. It's got a couple of tourniquets, as well as I've got basic stuff back here.
He has to.
I got a big one.
Yeah. We're good to go, and then we'll have one of these.
And it's brand new sterilized.
Sounds good. Course of action is.
Got chest seals and that.
Yes. Course of action is take care of patient, let guys know up front, and they'll take care of it from there. If for whatever reason you find yourself on the phone with 911, it is super important, he can probably tell you, say it was a training accident. Because it was a training accident. Do not tell somebody, someone's been shot. Because that's a different type of procedure, and then EMTs, fire EMS is going to be a lot longer. I guarantee you they know exactly what this place is. They're going to send SWAT first, because they're going to be thinking, especially with today's climate right now, they're going to be thinking something completely different. Okay. Right?
Hello Gun Nation, Big Johnson coming at you. All right, I'm here at Texas Gun Experience. Just got finished here with Chris. We'll introduce him with Advanced Pistol Class. It's my first pistol class I've taken at Texas Gun Experience. I'll talk a little bit about it. Ran the core belt, started out with the Staccato P Duo with the comp and all whole works. Love that pistol, shoot it really good. But he wanted me to change, or was recommending I change, because I was shooting it really good. So I did change to my CZ P10F and did, I don't know, what was it, 75% of the class or more with the P10F. So anyway, I'll go ahead and let him introduce himself.
Hey guys, Chris, lead trainer here at Texas Gun Experience. I've written most of the courses that we have here, with the exception of a few, and all the USCCA classes, they do their own thing. And today we did the advanced handgun, which is the highest tier we have so far for a pistol shooting course rather.
Yeah, it was really neat. We did a quick classroom, as you'll see from the first part of this video. I'm not giving away his whole scenario, just so you know, there are little snippets that you'll see through this. So we did about 10 minutes in the classroom, went down to the range, pretty much did everything in the range, came back and probably did about 10 minutes in here for a final. How long did we spend in the range?
About two and a half hours.
Yeah, about 2.5 hours. So it was a lot of, and in our class there were only 3 people, which, you can get in, and of course they can schedule it. So you go on through Texas Gun Experience website, go to their classes, and you can sign up for them, pay for them online, and book them online. And they have all different kinds. You offer AR, they have AK, pistol, different, and you even have CQB and stuff like that too, right? Home clearing. So, I took the AK class because I'm not super familiar with AKs. I mean, I've shot them before, and that was neat. So, pistols, I'm experienced with pistols, but you can always learn something. And I did learn some things today that, and I'm not going to give it away because the class is really fun, but I'm not going to give it away. But these are some things today that I've never done, as far as barriers, things like that. I'll give you some tips, but I'm not going to give it all away. But I mean, I took a lot out of it. Chris is a great teacher. If you want to give like a quick synopsis of your experience, just so they'll know.
Sure. So I spent 6 years in the Marine Corps in an artillery detachment for reserves. A lot of my experience with a rifle comes from that. Didn't really touch so much a pistol, but I've had a few run-ins with some Tier 1 and Tier 2 operators that taught me a lot of information. And so I was just a sponge when I was in that environment. And then from there, I've gone and done the Rogers Range Intermediate Qualifieds, training the SpaceX security team, everything from PMCs, private military contractors, to SWAT, DEA, SRT, all the good stuff. So
yeah, and like I said, it really came across. It was great explanation of things. Things that, he's like, well, you might not do this, try this, there was a lot of that. I was with two, gentlemen, I don't know, they could have been a little bit older than me, but it was a great camaraderie, got along really well. Nobody was showboating, nobody was being ignorant with pistols, and of course his safety, he stresses on that. So it's a very safe environment. You are downrange with no dividers, but of course he'll have you step up if it's your turn and things like that, and then you're shooting side by side, but it's spaced out. So safety's the utmost thing, so don't be afraid of that. But if you haven't experienced something like this, especially with pistols, and if you're a concealed carrier, or you're even, since we have constitutional carrying now, they still offer LTC classes and things like that. And a lot of people say, oh, we got constitutional carrying, we don't need LTCs. This allows you LTCs allow you to travel to different states and still carry where you can't. If you just have non-LTC. Also, buying pistols is easier because you're already everything's already done. So there's a lot of benefits to having that. But I do, and I've said, just like my AK class, you can go and check it out. I had Chandler grill me. So what did I do wrong? These are no hold barred. I just said, I want you to tell me what I did wrong. So Chris, what did I do wrong?
So, first, you did many things right, but the one thing that really stuck out to me was diagnosing the cover and concealment and being aware of where the body is at all times. Is sometimes we overexpose, especially if we need to get into a wider stance per whatever limitations we've got. And if we're leaning, we don't want to fall over. If that foot's outside of that piece of cover, right, that's an exposure, and the bad guy might start shooting at that too. As well as there was a couple of times where we started to hug up on that piece of cover, especially towards the final training exercise. But you also mitigated that towards the end. You started pushing it away a little bit, and so you took care of that for sure.
Yeah.
Those are common things, very common.
And I just want to let you know because he's picking on me because I was behind cover and I was going to the left. Well, when I went to the left, he's on the opposite side, and we're only using air guns, just our hands, no pistols, no ammo. And I'm coming around the corner, and if he sees me, he yells that he saw me. So what did you see first?
First thing was those shoes.
Size 14 shoe. My big old foot was out there, and I was like, man, I gotta throw my paddle out there. But yeah, he's like, I saw your foot first, and I'm like, damn it, imagine that. So I was able to keep the body back, but the foot, was just, it is what it is. But it's neat when you're having that perspective behind, and it was cover, barrels and things. But, it's neat having him on the other side of it saying, hey, here's what I saw, here's what you did. That's a very neat thing. And then at the end of this, there was a stress situation that he puts you through. And I'm not going to give it away. I'm not going to say what it was, but, it's intense. It's fun, but it's intense. So during that stress situation, how do you think I did? No holds barred.
So you handled it. There was a couple times where those identifying. Another thing is shooting in really unorthodox positions. There was a couple times that we missed quite a few, and that was just like left over here, miss. It could have been due to a number of different reasons, but especially when the stress is turned up, those small targets become almost pin-sized. It's like, wow, I hit it.
Because some of these targets, I don't know, how far were we away from the targets?
About 7 to 10.
Okay, 7 to 10 yards, something like that. Some of them were this big, like a little triangle, little circle. So, and I mean, little tiny, like we had a headshot, but he even made them smaller and, stuff like that. So he was really putting the stress on. But I'm not going to tell you what all he did to induce the stress. These are things you got to take. But I highly recommend coming and taking and signing up for the class. Chris, Chandler, the guys here are really, really good. I had a great time. This is my second class with Texas Gun Experience, and I feel everyone should take it. Just work up to it if you don't feel advanced. And I will say this, I didn't take the beginner one. I just went straight into the advanced one. Do you think I was undergunned for this class? I mean, like I should have taken the other ones?
No, you were at the
Okay.
level.
You know, so it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. You know, I appreciate Chris's time. And do you have any final thoughts?
Overall, all the folks that attended the class, including you guys did fantastic. That stress inoculation, especially if we're adding a bunch of different things to it that we may have not.
Don't give it away. Don't give it all away. Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
So, but with like the covering concealment and then getting used to shooting upright here, and then all of a sudden shifting that plane of focus like this, the fundamentals are still there, but it just seems like it's different. Right?
Yeah.
It's a fantastic course. I enjoy personally doing it. It's a repeat course too. If you want to come in and take the course again, it's one of those ones you might not get everything on that first one, but you'll get more and more and more the more often you take it.
Yeah, and I will say this. We had some shooters who had dots, and then we had some shooters who had irons, you know, today. And I will say this, and y'all know that I'm a dot shooter. Chris is a dot shooter also. I will say, without question, dots are the present, the future, going forward, because it shows when we were in these weird ass positions, and it shows being able to pick a dot and have it on your target versus, you know, we saw one guy with irons and he thought he was there, but he wasn't there. And so it was a whole different ball game, but I really enjoyed it. I appreciate Chris's time, appreciate him doing this little interview with me afterwards to try to give y'all some insight, but sign up for it. Texas Gun Experience, super easy in Grapevine, Texas. You can go in and sign up for all their courses. They even have armorers courses. They have all kinds of things. So please check out their website. So I appreciate y'all as always. Remember, an unarmed nation's a very weak nation, so we all got to carry on.